and see what happens. Now there is a little bit of latency. Oh, good. Right. But you see like the latency there. So we're actually going to be like a little bit behind. We'll give it like not a perfect matchup.
We're happy.
I'm just going to put these. I'm just going to put these on and see if I can hear any sound. Are we getting sound? Okay, yeah. The audio is actually pretty clear. All right.
Might want to change the framing too, so it doesn't.
The framing
looks silly.
What do you mean? It's going to be.
Can we pull up?
Oh, like that.
Yeah, just so it doesn't look weird. You know what? The reason why they do this latency thing is on purpose, is so that if someone says something bad or flashes, then you can react to it. That's actually how they do it in TV as well. That's how they're able to bleep things out during live shows.
Huh?
This looks weird.
Yeah. It's like you're looking into the past. Hey, past self, buy Bitcoin. Server URL, copy. Save that. I'm gonna post that through. I don't think anyone's watching. So, yeah. We'll start at 9 o'clock. We just wanted to get like a little bit an early start, just so like if there was any issues we could solve them before, but everything seems to be going good.
We'll just have to deal with our antics for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Friday night hangout. See if anyone responded. Oh, we did get a vote. Cool. Okay. Here. Hopefully that link will take. Oh wait, no. What's this art? I don't know. Stuff like that. How do I? Should I just? No, that's the dashboard. This is the server URL. I'm just going to open up another page and see if I can watch it at a different. Grab it like
probably that URL.
Dope. Okay. We're gonna stay in this. Cool. We finally got someone. It would be cool if we like repositioned ourselves to where I can like type. You'll just have to scoot in close. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. There, you can see how we did it. 1 second.
Behind the scenes magic.
Yeah. I'm going to turn the fan on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
When I put on the headphones, I didn't hear it.
They'll hear it. Trust me.
They can, because we came in pretty clear. I don't know if you want to check it out, but yeah. Did you hear the fan? Or well, it's now past. But yeah.
but they'll hear it even because your mind will tune it out because you've been hearing it all day.
No. Oh, okay. So even the analytics because the messages. I don't know. Let's see. 11. When. I don't know. I think we can start like 10 minutes early. People can just catch up. So, I basically want to start off is probably not a whole lot of people are familiar with who you are. So, if you could give like a quick introduction to like who you are, like your background, like kind of what your expertise is, like what you do, the company, just like basically just a short summary of who you are.
Well, I'm Joshua Rose. I am essentially the camera guy and the in-house filmmaker. I produce all the videos of that. I also create all the branding content and marketing materials. And I'm pretty much in charge of pretty much everything concerning media, branding, marketing, video, everything. That is what I do. Yeah, and we also are a part of like a larger umbrella company that you and I started called AGA Media. AGA Entertainment, which is formerly AGA Media. I like AGA Media better, but AGA Entertainment. And like we kind of have taken on more of like a business role, even though like you and I don't really have a business background, so we're just kind of figuring it out. So like, how did you get involved with like film and producing, and just basically with AG in general? So like, what like started your interest? Well, it all started way back in 2007, and we would make stupid little videos, which are still up on YouTube to this day. So go and find them,
or no, don't.
And show us what you found. It's quite lovely. And just doing these little skits and that for fun, trying to be YouTube stars back when Fred was the hot dog on YouTube. And just doing that kind of built that interest. And then finally, I made the stupid decision to go to film school. And now and now I got a DSLR, so I guess that makes me a filmmaker.
Yeah. But you actually have a non-academic work that made it to a Tier 2 film festival, right?
Yeah. So if you haven't seen this, because we've done as much as we can to whore this around, is our film Antigonish, which he directed and I shot and produced. We put that together. It got shown in the Idaho Horror Film Festival, and it was actually screened right before the Blair Witch Project movie, the original.
I think it was screened after.
Or right after.
We came after.
At some point around that. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was IHFF. And I mean, you've had academic work that is also into film festivals, but like IHFF is like your first like independent venture.
Yeah, it wasn't something I did for school.
Yeah, like it was what we officially did as a company.
Yeah, it was our first. I want to say it was our first. Well, no, I'd probably say Doubting Thomas was our first official company project.
Oh yeah,
it was our first film as a company, because with AGA Entertainment, what we do is, and you might have seen this AGA logo media in some of our materials. I have it at the ends of the tutorials for his magic effects. And what we are is we produce entertainment content, we produce magic, we produce films, and we'd also like to produce other forms of entertainment down the line.
They're coming up pretty soon, like hopefully within a year.
Yeah,
like we're adding some new people. We added a bunch of new people to the team.
Yeah,
it's going like way better than what we first anticipated. Like 2 years ago when we started it. Yeah, because our first project was Doubting Thomas, which kind of falls under like the magic division, and so like TylerScottIllusionist is a division of AGA. So even though like it says TylerScottIllusionist, like it's my YouTube channel. It's still like under the umbrella of AGA Entertainment, and he has like full access to my YouTube channel and a lot of my accounts. So yeah, Tyler Scott Illusionist like officially belongs to AGA. Yeah, which it's kind of confusing, and like it probably doesn't really matter to like most people just because it's more of like a logistical kind of thing, and it's just really something more for us and more for something like clients. Yeah. If
it's easier to have one bank account rather than 5.
Right. And it kind of like feeds into each other since like the other major division that we've actually developed with AGA is the film division. Yeah. So like if we want to shoot like me performing magic or shoot like one of my creations or one of my effects, like they kind of go hand in hand.
It's all mutually inclusive, what we do.
Right, and there's also been instances like where I'm performing and they'll like see him shooting and then they'll be like, oh, could we use him for one of our projects? So it really does like feed into each other, and we're hoping that the other branches of media that we want to, of entertainment media that we want to branch out into kind of like feed each other. And we don't have like a very big team right now. It's pretty small, but like it's a bunch of like talented people, and they all bring something unique to the table. Yeah, that's a little bit about like the AGA side of it. Well, I guess, is it close to 9? Because people are mainly wanting to find out about the stage show. Yeah. And so we'll get into that a little bit. I just kind of want to get them more familiar with you. What really convinced you to kind of become like an entrepreneur and to kind of bite the bullet and just be like, all right, I want to do like my own thing?
Because I can't find a job and no one will hire me.
Okay, think back to like 2015 when things were like a little bit different and you still wanted to do it. By the way, we still have that footage.
Pretty much the same reason.
Okay, fair enough. So there's a saying that some people choose greatness, some people are resistant and are forced into greatness, and some people happen upon greatness by mistake. You were kind of forced to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be an entrepreneur, but I want to eat, so I have no choice.
Right. Fair enough. But you know, it's also kind of like a turn on to be like, you know, to kind of do your own project, your own passion project. I don't know. It's kind of a turn on. But yeah, okay. We have a few more people watching. Oh, that's awesome. Well, let's get right into the stage show. So let's talk about like the beginning of that. How did this stage show thing start?
Well, we had planned this for a while, and when it was officially greenlit, he and I participated in a Christmas play for a friend and at her church. We put that on there. We did well. That put us in good graces with the pastor of that church. And the church was a great venue for the show. And in fact, the show was designed for that venue. We'll talk about that venue a little bit.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
But since the pastor was just really happy with us because we came in and helped this play, he greenlit it. He let us come in and do this play, which we'll talk more about that in the future.
Yeah.
So pretty much that Christmas is when the project officially started, and in January, I think like the first week of January or so, was our first rehearsal.
Correct, yeah. And just to clarify something, so that Christmas play that we were in, that was not like an AGA production. That was, we were just simply actors, and we didn't write anything, we didn't put on anything, we didn't advertise it. We were just simply acting. Yeah. So it wasn't really something of ours. We were just doing it as a to someone. The only stage production that AGA has under its belt is the TylerScottIllusionist Street to Stage. So when we refer to other stage shows, they're probably not ours. The only one that we have is Street to Stage.
Street to Stage was our first rodeo, and I mean, we had no idea what the hell we were doing, and we were just figuring it out as we went along. And holy crap, was this educational?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to share with the viewers is just kind of what we learned. So let's kind of just keep it back towards the beginning. So we started in January. What was like your initial like thoughts about doing this? Like, what were your like initial expectations? What were your like initial goals and plans for it?
At the very beginning, since I haven't even seen 80% of the material that was in the show, I had absolutely no idea what to expect. All I know is that the purpose of the show was to replace these entertainment nights that the church would put on every week or so. Mm-hmm. And normally they would show a movie or play a board game. So this show is essentially to replace a movie. So we know we wanted to make something that was an hour to hour and a half long.
We didn't want to do an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
It was like, maybe we'll get into an hour. I thought I had maybe enough material for 45 minutes.
And granted, when we first started, I don't think I had ever been to a magic show in recent memory.
What about Trino's?
We did go to Trino's before, didn't we? Yeah, so my only impression of how a magic show is done was from Trino Shinkariel and from some magician at my grandma's church when I was a child. That was it. And with his magic, the only thing that I was really familiar with is what I've shot and what I've just seen posted to Facebook and stuff like that.
Yeah, and a lot of that, like my street busking and walk around material is not like my stage material, especially anything I put on Instagram. It's probably not going to go on stage. So we do have a comment. I'd like to address that first before we go into anything else. It's from Al Gore Fan 4, and he says, sounds like most of what happened. Yeah, it was, I think no show is immune to imperfections and mistakes being made difficulty.
The saying that I always have, this goes for stage shows, this goes for gigs, this goes for films, really anything. If nothing went wrong, something went wrong.
Yeah, 100% agreed. And just to reiterate what you said, even outside of magic, if it's like film or if it's like other stage productions that we want to do outside of magic even, something probably will go wrong. That's just what happens in live situations. But even like in something like a film where we have control over editing and we have control over the shot, there's still stuff that goes wrong, even though we have full control over what the audience
An extremely important thing that you need to have if you want to be a creator of any type, whether it's a filmmaker or a magician, probably even especially a magician since you have less control over a situation, is being able to react and not being so stuck to your ways. That's where I see a lot of people who think that they're these artistic geniuses who are going to change magic forever, and they refuse to adapt to the situation and they end up being crushed.
He's not even in the magic community, and he just like referenced a bunch of stuff, I think, without even knowing it. Like there's this huge scandal, or not really scandal, but kind of drama earlier this year over like change magic forever, whoever's like the best, like I'm better than Erdnase, and now like fake reactions. So yeah, the magic industry got a lot of characters that are exactly like what you said, the artistic type, and actually I'm guilty of that. And he kind of saved me on it. This was like a week or two before the show, and I performed Scott Alexander's Nailed It. And what we do before I perform Nailed It is we show this infamous clip. I think it came out last year.
Yeah.
There's this Poland's Got Talent, Polish magician. I can't remember his name. He went on this talk show, and one of the female hosts, he had her like, took her hand and slammed on the bag, and he had it wrong. The spike was in it. She just cries out in excruciating pain. It doesn't show any blood or gore or anything, but you just see this woman in a lot of pain. And we were talking about, we did market the show as an all ages show. And gosh, this was pretty close to like, I think it was a week before the show.
Yeah, it was.
And we got to talking, and I was like, is there anything where you're like, we're marketing this as all ages show, and you said that if your nieces had come to see the show, they would be traumatized by that clip. Me as an artist, I love the clip because it builds the tension, it builds this drama, and it puts the audience on edge. And as an artist, I love it. But from a business point of view, we advertise at all ages, and parents would not be happy with us if we traumatize their kids.
I mean, had we done that, parents would have walked out.
Yeah.
Like, if my sister had came to the show and brought my nieces, and we had showed that clip, she would never talk to me again if I did that.
Yeah, so I would honestly say business trumps the art. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but in that case, business had to trump that.
You need to pretty much get over yourself is the key.
Yeah.
Get over yourself, adapt to the situation, and pretty much just, if there's another way to accomplish the same thing that you're trying to do, then go for it. Like, we wound up finding another video, wasn't nearly as good, and trust me, it hurt having to cut that video because it was just absolutely perfect for what we were going for, but not for an all ages show. Kids like 10 and under would not be able to handle something like that. So we found something that had the same thing but was way less gruesome, and it was where the magician got hurt. And
it was a male. Yeah. Like, seeing a male get hurt compared to a female, psychologically, it's just different.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you see a female get hurt, you react different. You feel a little bit different. Whereas, like, a male, and especially since it's self-inflicted, like, in the clip with the Polish guy, like, he takes her hand and so he caused her pain, but in the one with, like, the German magician, he did it himself.
The German one, he tried to really keep his composure, which was a really key thing, too. And
it was way less dramatic.
And I was nervous, and so when we were actually showing it, I was looking around the audience trying to gauge their reactions, and they all seemed comfortable with it. They were still shocked by it and still nervous about what was going to happen to him, which was the point. Yeah. But, like, there were these two little 6 to 8 year old girls that were sitting right in the front, and I was looking at them, and they didn't look traumatized to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone liked it. The only problem is, since we had to switch up the clip, there were some issues with that, and it just played this really long clip of, like, German.
Really long Germans talking.
Yeah, I think people were, like, very confused. And right before I had done it, I had done this book test with Last Orders, which is, like, an alternative World War II history book where the Germans are actually winning. So it was just kind of like this weird message I sent to people.
We have kind of an odd relationship with Germans. Just go on YouTube and type AGA class.
Or don't do it.
Then you'll pretty much figure out what we're talking about.
Yeah. My mom was at the show, and she asked me, what was up with all that German stuff with, like, Last Orders? And then you showed that clip of the German. I was like, that's not how I originally intended. I actually something more traumatic, but we're going to save that clip. We will use it. It'll be more for college shows, so more older audience.
Anything PG-13, that clip is absolutely going in. It's perfect.
Right, it's perfect for that, but, like, 12 and under, like, you're really risking a lot of, like, traumatizing kids, which is not good. Okay, yeah, so going back to, like, just, like, that business trumping the art, to sum up what we're saying, just kind of get over yourself and just know your audience and basically just do stuff for your audience. Make them happy. As long as you're making them happy, you're doing your job.
Exactly. And that's really the most important thing. That's something I brought up a lot, especially when we were having bad days and things weren't going well, or things just weren't happening the way that he wanted it to happen, is that it doesn't matter. Like, no magicians are going to be here. Like, you're not going to have the usual critics in the audience watching you and picking apart everything. Right. It's all laymen. And all that matters is that you entertain them. Even if you completely screw the trick up, they don't know how it was supposed to be done in the first place. As long as you have a fun, charismatic personality, they're going to have fun.
Yeah, and I mean, there were mistakes that were made. I haven't seen the footage. We actually recorded, I think, all of it. And we'll get into that, too, in a little bit. We have it all recorded. We're going to turn it into a promo reel, which is the main reason why we did the show. But the very beginning was messed up because we needed 4 hours of preparation. We only got 2.
Yeah.
And so stuff had to get cut. Some stuff that I wanted to go a certain place did not go a certain place. Some certain effects got messed up. Some certain effects went haywire. But in the end, it all catches its stride. And then I think we finish on a strong note.
What was really nice is in the end, the audience was entertained. They were happy. I mean, at one point, he got, I believe, I need to look at the footage, but I believe he got a standing ovation. And people were saying afterwards just how much they loved it. I was, even several days after the show, I was hearing from people about just things people were saying, and they just loved it. They clearly enjoyed it. Despite its faults, they had a blast.
Yeah, and just to kind of summarize what we were talking about here, you're going to mess it up, and you'll probably make many mistakes. But as long as you keep that happy, charismatic character, the audience, laymen won't care. As long as you're just having a good time, they're going to have a good time too. And then that's what makes it a good show. I mean, you should still polish your content and make it look good, but I feel like your entertainer personality and how you interact with your audience is way more important than the effect. Magic is a tool. It shouldn't be the focus.
Exactly. Your charisma is subconsciously or let me fix myself. People think like on the surface that they're coming to you for the magic, but that's not actually why they're doing it. That's just the gimmick. What they're really coming for is the entertainment, is the personality behind the magic. Charisma and showmanship is what separates a true magician like David Blaine, Copperfield, or even more mid-tier people like Tree Notion Cariol and Dan Harlan from schmucks who just do stuff on the camera.
Yeah. I mean, Instagram magic does have its place, but it's probably not going to land you a gig. You actually need to show that you can.
And even if you think about effects like the sawing a woman in half, where everybody knows how that's done, that it's not even a magic trick at this point. But people still love it when magicians do it, because if the magician has a good personality and is entertaining, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And so we're going to kind of lead into the next point, is we've been talking about like filming it and all that stuff. But before we get into like the logistics of what your role was, let's kind of go into why we wanted to film it. So the main purpose of filming it was to build a promo reel, which is the whole purpose. Like, it was a free show. Like, we didn't charge anything for attendance, because we needed to get footage of me doing a stage show and actually entertaining people. But what is, I'm going to let you answer this. What is the main reason, or why was a promo reel so crucial?
Picks or it didn't happen, essentially. So we need to have a promo reel, because when you're booking for gigs, that's how clients are going to determine whether or not they're going to hire you. You can fluff up your website and say you're this great magician and you have all these reviews, but that's not, if they can actually see you performing, that's going to be the decision maker right there.
Yeah, like, it's a competitive market. Like, magic is a competitive market. You are going to be competing against other magicians, not just other magicians, other entertainers, for whatever kind of gig that you want to get. And having video, actual evidence of what you can do, like people smiling and people laughing, that's going to give you a competitive edge.
And another thing that is important with people smiling, there's another thing that key in business and marketing that I'm going to share with you, is that there is no such thing as intrinsic value. So it doesn't matter how much work and effort, love, and blood and sweat and tears you put into it, it's worthless unless people think it's valuable. So how do you make people think something is valuable? You make it look like it's valuable. And so our strategy with the show is, we got these, I'm not just recording him all the time, I'm also turning the camera on the audience. And this is why, even when we're doing street magic, why we want to get the audience and spectator reactions so much, we want to get their reaction, because how the audience reacts psychologically tells the viewer how they're supposed to react to it. This is why laugh tracks make sitcoms so much funnier.
Yeah, and I kind of want to share with them, like, the one thing that I took away that I kind of learned from you that is so important is the big P word. You want to share that? Don't put your mind in the gutter. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Perception is everything.
Write that down. Perception is everything, and underline it.
The only reason why Apple is considered a premium brand, where you have to pay premium prices for their products, is because they kept telling you that it's premium. Not because their hardware is actually better or that it's more expensive to produce. It's just they market it as premium.
Yeah, like that was the whole point of this show. That's kind of going to be our business plan. No one steal this in the future. I mean, I'm sure other people do this, but we want to sell AGA as a premium experience, which means that people will probably be paying a premium. But when you're putting on something for like a CEO of a company and it's a holiday party and you're an event planner, you want a premium experience because your boss hired you to make an entertaining time. So you don't want to have like a cheap performer that's going to do a bad job and embarrass you. You want to hire an entertainer that makes you look good. So you're going to go for the premium experience. And being a whole part of that premium experience is the look. Like I did not have, like if you guys watched my Live Street Magic compilation number 2, the way I dressed was not appropriate for a premium experience. So I can't even really use Live Street Magic compilation number 2 as a demonstration of my skills, because even though the magic is debatably good, like I got feedback from like Cosmo and Jack Murdoch that the magic was solid, I didn't look professional. I didn't look like I was professional. And that's because of the way I was dressed. Now for this show, we went on a site called mydealman.com, and we ordered these European design but manufactured in China.
Globalization.
Yeah, like a blazer and a dress shirt, and I think we bought some darker pants. Like the only thing that wasn't really like dressy was the shoes, and that's just for 2 specific magic packs. One of them I couldn't even perform.
And even then, that's a common style. The dress clothes with street shoes.
Yeah. But from like the top up, like I was trying to show that I was serious. Like I wasn't gonna wear like a t-shirt, even though it was very hot. It was a hot day. I wanted to look like I was serious about being there, and being serious as a performer. So all about the perception, because perception is everything, and it's very vital. You need to sell the perception of what you want. So if you want to be premium, you have to dress premium. You have to talk premium. You have to do everything like a premium experience. Or if you want to be like artsy, dress artsy, look artsy, talk artsy. It's all about how you sell that perception. It kind of goes along with that saying, fake it in order to make it. Like you don't actually have to be that good. You just have to make people think you are that good. And then it sounds like a cop-out. It kind of sounds like the easy way out. But you look at like Jabrizi, who has all this drama that he faked reactions. And I don't really want to go into that too much because I don't want to get involved with the drama. But he still lands gigs with the Chicago Bulls. He still goes on shows like Masters of Illusion, Penn and Teller. And yeah, you could say he's not that good, but he sells the idea to people that aren't magicians that he is that good. And he has a huge social media following because of it.
It's the reason why Chris Angel has a career.
Exactly. Like, magicians hate Chris Angel. Magicians hate Jabrizi now. But that isn't hurting Chris Angel. That isn't hurting Jabrizi, because what they learned was that there's more money in entertaining laymen than appealing to magicians and getting magicians' approval. So that's part of the reason why they're so successful. They sold this perception to laymen of who they wanted to be and how they wanted laymen to see them. They mastered.
I highly recommend, and this is not just for magic. This is kind of going to be a theme with a lot of stuff that I have to say. It's not just for magic, for everything, because there's so much that's just true for everything. Bite the bullet. Pay the $30 a month for a subscription to lynda.com. Take some courses on branding and marketing. That will go a very long way with helping you. Marketing and branding is really what's going to get you seen. That's what's going to create that perception and get the deal. You have to be a businessman. This industry is only 10% show and 90% business.
Yeah. that's show business in general. So like the two words are not 50-50 split. This is something that we learned from a magic shop owner in Colin, who kind of like advised us on how to get this started. Is because I always assumed it was 50% show, 50% business, but he's like, no. It's 10% show, which is the fun stuff, and 90% business. And we definitely learned that putting this show on. So and to sell this perception, I mentioned something like My Deal Man, where we bought the outfit essentially of what I was performing in. But we also had to record it. So do you want to kind of talk about like how you went about doing it? And I know you kind of have like a film degree, so if you want to like talk about that and just your advice about getting good footage.
So in general, it is really important to be filming your stuff. And we're pretty good about filming pretty much everything. And that's good because now we have content that we can show you. That's more stuff that can be put into demo reels. And again, that's just content that just having your face on there. Again, with that marketing, just people seeing you, the more people see you, the more people will think, oh, he must be good. So it's important to have that. If you have a friend who likes photography or videography, do some favors for them, get them to help you on stuff. If you don't, that's okay. If you don't even need a nice camera, you probably have one in your pocket right now, or you might even be watching this on your phone. Chances are takes very good video. And just make sure to be filming that. You can watch tutorials online on how to do those types of things and how to make good video. One problem that we did run into with our show is that since I have a DSLR, and if you are into filmmaking, you know that DSLRs are horrible for any long-form content because they overheat and you can only record for 10 minutes, which for an hour-long show is a problem.
Which actually, spoiler alert, turned into an hour and a half show.
Yeah.
Even with all this stuff.
Yeah. So one solution I have that is kind of unique to our situation, but there is a caveat to that. There is this public access station in another city, and they have a very interesting program where you can rent their equipment for absolutely free. The only stipulation is that whatever you create with their equipment, you get aired on their program. So the price is you get free distribution on TV.
Yeah, I mean, there is another caveat. You have to pay and take classes there and get trained on the equipment.
You have to pay $15 to get trained on it.
$15 for that.
And the cameras we were using, this isn't like some cheap little Sony camera. We were using $8,000 broadcast quality cameras, and we were using 2 of them. And
like for reference, it's stuff that your news station
exactly. It's exactly what a news station uses. And now you, especially if you live in a small town, might not have access to something like that specifically. But still, if you don't have a smartphone, which smartphone probably won't get you an hour, and DSLR definitely won't.
And some people probably aren't putting on an hour.
But if you are doing long form stuff longer than 10 minutes, like even if you can get a hold of a cheap little consumer camera from Best Buy, that'll be fine. As long as your audio is good, the people won't care if the video is crap. And but if you still, for some reason, can't get access to that, you just do not have the money, go find your local public access station, because the whole purpose of public access TV is to help the community create stuff. Chances are they have equipment that if you can get trained on, and they'll let you check it out and use it almost usually for free. I think it's actually they're legally required to do it for free because it's public access.
Another thing that I would say is if you have the money for it, just hire a videographer.
Yes, absolutely.
Like they're probably looking for work, so I'm sure you can negotiate some sort of deal.
I am biased on this subject, but yeah, your best bet is to hire a videographer. Yeah, it's going to be a little more expensive, but
there'll be a payoff that you look better.
Exactly, and that's extremely important. It's not enough when you're making a demo reel for your show just to look good and for your appearance and performance to look good. The video needs to look good too. So if a client, especially if you're targeting premium clients like business owners and event planners and stuff like that. So if they see, yeah, the show was great, but it was shot in standard definition and it had like these weird sucky angles and they can't hear what's going on because they didn't have a separate audio set up, that's going to say, okay, this is maybe not a premium.
Yeah, even if your magic is great, even if it's like perfect, if the video and audio aren't good, it's going to suck.
Exactly.
Even if you are perfect, your technical stuff isn't good, their mind just is like, oh, this is bad.
And if you hire a videographer, that is going to be taken care of. And it's going to look excellent. And if they see that excellent quality video, then they're like, holy crap, like, we need to have this.
Yeah, and if you don't have the money for a videographer, hit up like your local university or whatever and try to find a film student that's just looking to beef up his or her portfolio.
Exactly. People will be more than happy to help you. And also, if you need to, just do some favors for people. Maybe have, like, if the film school idea is perfect. So if you find someone in film school looking to build up their portfolio, ask them to do this for you. And maybe so when they are shooting one of their short films or like one of their class theses,
you'll be an actor.
Yeah, go act in one of their films because they definitely need actors. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of like the logistics of how you got a camera and how to make it look good, and it all just kind of feeds back into perception, which is so crucial. Let's go into another component that you and I kind of learned on the job, which was marketing. So we kind of went over the technical stuff. So just to recap, if you can't do it on your own, possibly hire someone that can, or find someone that is training to do that and see if you can work out a deal with them. But yeah, the reason why it's so important is don't cheap out on it because it will ruin people's perception of you, and that's what's so important. But the other problem that we faced was getting people to go to the show, which when we did the show, we actually filled every seat in the auditorium, which we were not expecting. So we literally had a full house. Like, we could not see anywhere people where we actually had to have people like sit on the floor.
Yeah.
It was kind of
It's crazy. And I wish we did more research into why that happened. I wish we had people do a survey of how they found out about the show. And the next time we do something like this, I am definitely going to have a survey, something so people can fill out so we can have concrete data on what is working and what isn't. We did have some help though. So we didn't perform it at the church.
We'll get into that later.
I'm
saving that for a different segment.
Yeah, we'll give you the story on that. So we wound up performing at the local library that we've been actually rehearsing in the entire time. So they were already familiar with us. And it turned out the library is awesome. And just in general, go to your local library. They are amazing. Everything for free. And
like a full like PhD level like books are just there for free. Like, you can basically educate yourself on anything for free at your local library. Just gotta get a library.
Besides even this information, this library in particular had a really big auditorium that could seat 80 people.
It's a Carnegie library, you know. So like, what was his name? John Carnegie or
Joseph something like that.
William. The what was he? Steel magnate?
Rich oil or steel?
Yeah, the
oil. I think
the old tycoon Carnegie that was like a social Darwinist. That guy. Before he died, he built up a bunch of public libraries that are really like big and beautiful and historic, and our hometown actually has one of those. And so we got to perform in this big like marble brick library that's like a bunch of different floors. It was pretty big, and they have like a really nice auditorium.
Yeah.
So that is where we were able to book it. We'll get into booking shows in a little bit, but we want to talk about marketing.
And since it was a library, it was completely free to book it, which in the future will eventually be a problem for us, especially once we're doing for-profit shows. We'll have to eventually pay a fee to book the venue. But as for marketing, what's another great thing about the library is since the goal of the library is to get the community to come in and do so. So libraries regularly hold events. So if you want to get a gig as a magician, a really great way to do that, you might not get paid, but it can boost your portfolio, your demo reel, and also have references and reviews and testimonials from people that you can put on your marketing material. Is just do these small events like for children at libraries. So we did pretty much that, but on a much larger scale. And because it was on a much larger scale, the library actually helped market for us. And I
did about half.
I should have brought the flyers that they made, and they did not go by my branding guidelines, which
we're kind of specific about that. That is kind of where the art meets the business. Is our company has like 3 very specific colors: black, red, and gray. Those are our colors, and so whenever we do any kind of like advertisement, we try to somehow reference AGA in that. It doesn't always have to be that way, but we definitely try to play up black, gray, and red, because that is who we are.
I'm a marketing and graphic design guy, so that just irked me, but they were not graphic designers.
It still worked.
Anyway,
that's all that matters.
It worked, and I honestly don't know if it worked more than what we did. They've just passed around flyers, and probably just people who normally show up to the library at events just saw these and thought it'd be a good idea. The other venue, which is extremely effective, which I highly recommend, is Facebook. You need to create a Facebook event page for your show if you're going to put on one. It's the most effective. Everyone in your friends list is going to get notified when you create that. And if you have other people like crew on that to help you promote that, everyone on their friends list is going to see that. So when we posted the Street to Stage Facebook page, that was part of the overall AGA Entertainment Facebook page, which you should totally go and follow. So first of all, the people who follow the AGA page saw that. And then since he and I both shared it, all of his friends list saw it, and all of my friends list saw it, and just people that we knew who supported us shared it, so all of their friends were able to see it. And
it's just kind of this exponential growth of who will see it. But kind of what I gathered from it is, so we did it in our hometown where he and I essentially grew up. But I would say over 3/4 of the people that were in attendance, I had no idea who they were. I had never met them before. So I would say a lot of that was the library's marketing.
That's what I'm guessing. What I'm guessing is the majority of those people, especially the ones that came with kids, were just people who normally come to the library. And I mean, our town too is pretty economically depressed, and a lot of people are in poverty and can't do many things with their children. So this was a great free thing that they can do to spend time with their kids.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was such like a critical thing that you and I wanted to get. Like we had a big age range show up. It was like 6-year-olds to 76-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like someone that sat next to my mom had no idea who she was. She was like probably in her 70s.
Yeah. I mean, there was...
And then there's like a 6-year-old sitting right in front of her. It's like, wow, what a spectrum. And like we had like a pretty diverse group of people, like of all different like, races. It was a pretty big mix of like male and female, moms, dads.
I don't think any one demographic was larger than the other.
Yeah, it was pretty diverse, which was awesome. So, like, from a business standpoint, like, as an artist, that makes me happy, but as a businessman, it makes me really happy. It means that, like, our show, or just AGA in general, can have, like, an appeal to, like, a big group.
A broad appeal. Especially to 2 groups that you want to target in particular, are millennials and families. That's, if you know how to get millennials and families to do stuff, you should become a marketer, because you're going to make a killing, and companies are going to fight to have you.
Yeah, you should probably get into consulting for marketing.
Because that is the key, because young people will make you look cool, and they will keep that brand loyalty. And families
spread on social media, which is why millennials are so critical. Is they use social media probably more than any other demographic, and that social media, that's free advertising.
Exactly. And then families will come in, and families usually come in groups. So especially the mother. If you can target the mother, you're in good company, because the mother will come. She'll bring her kids will probably bring her husband too, and that's potentially 5.5 people right there.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to go to those groups. It's just been a success for us so far. Like, if you are like, man, I don't really have content that's catered towards that age demographic. You want to go more older? That's fine too. We're just saying like what worked for us. But the reason why we probably got that huge age spectrum and that huge, just the diverse demographic of people that showed up was the way it was marketed. Like, people were like, oh, it's just a family-friendly kind of thing. And so people felt comfortable bringing their kids to it. So if you want to attract a more like edgy crowd, market it as like an edgy show. Like, have like kind of like that shock value in your posters, in your commercial, in your business cards. Like, it needs to stay consistent. Like, that's a big thing that even we still work on, is consistency in your message and who you are. Is everything needs to line up and be consistent. Like, if you are like a Dan Sperry or like Chris Angel kind of performer, and you're going and doing a kid show, like, that's not consistent. Like, okay, I guess you could do that, but you don't want to like market that you did a good show. And even then, it would look really weird. And I guess you could do it like for a friend, but don't make it public that you did that, you know? And even then, because you need to have your image and your perception, going back to that word, consistent. And that's another key thing too, is when we're doing these big stage shows, that's different. We want as many people as possible. You want to get those families and millennials into those seats. But for the smaller scale stuff, especially if you're doing online content, you actually want to target to the most specific group of people you can. So if you are an edgy magician, well, what kind of edgy magician? Are you a goth magician? Are you an emo magician? Are you a Satanist? You need a subset of a subset. Exactly. And probably a subset of that. It's counterintuitive, but target to the smallest demographic possible, because those are going to end up being your most passionate fan base. And then usually what happens is the friends of those, so you're emo magicians, so you got this emo group that now loves you. Well, now those emos probably have friends, and these friends who aren't emos are going to see, it's like, oh, he's actually really good. So now that will grow out from there. Yeah, so it does seem counterintuitive. We can't really explain fully why it works, but every business class, every business professional will tell you, like, keep narrowing it down, keep focusing in, keep going to the subset of the subset of the subset. So that's some pretty key critical advice if you don't have a business background. Okay, so we kind of went over like the marketing, and then just to kind of refresh on that, like, we did put up posters originally. There were some cards that the library put out, and we used Facebook too. And I think those are really the main ways to do it. I did hear that the posters was for the original show at the church that wound up getting postponed. I did hear some anecdotes that people did see them and weren't interested. And I didn't put up that many either. It was in a very concentrated area of the town. And that might have been why it worked. I mean, it was concentrated in the area of town where the church was located. And so subset of subset. Like, keep going further into the rabbit hole. Be as small as and specific as you can. Small, like specific, and just really accurate and targeted and pinpointed is a lot more powerful than just broad and general. So we covered, like, you know, shooting it, the promo reel, marketing and advertising. How did we get the gig? Let's go into that. So I'm gonna let you. So I guess there's pretty much two parts of that, because we got. Do you want to change it up to where we go over all the mishaps of the show, then go into how we got the gigs? Should we do that first? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's go over the fun stuff to talk about now. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the drama and all of the sheer insanity of putting on this 9-month-long, what was supposed to be no more than an hour show, hour and a half show, by a group of this small ragtag.
I do really regret not filming this, because this would have made like a Sundance documentary with all the drama that went on. I mean, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And it pushed all of us past our breaking points, to the point of having a nervous breakdown at a pizza place where 2 of our crew members were.
Yeah, that should kind of tell you what it was.
Yeah.
But that pizza place in particular, this is kind of like an inside story. It was like poetic that our mental breakdown happened.
Yeah, that pizza place has a very special meaning to us.
Yeah, like we'll have to write a book about
it. Yeah, stay tuned for that. This was so hard. I was not realizing how just absurdly difficult and taxing this would be. I had multiple nervous breakdowns. I think every single one of us did, and we had fights. There were several points where we just gave up, and even for me, it got to the point where I don't even care if this thing happens anymore. I just want to be done with it.
Yeah, which it kind of makes you like lose your love for what you do. Now we're kind of in the recovery phase where we're starting to like love it again.
If you are not absolutely in love with this, quit and go do something else. If you can,
that's probably that's better advice than the perception advice.
Yes, this is the most important thing as an artist you're going to hear. If you can imagine yourself being happy doing anything other than this, so if you're a magician, if you can picture yourself being happy not doing magic, quit doing magic and go pursue that other thing. You'll be way happier, and you'll also have a lot more money.
Yeah, that is better than the perception advice. So if you do decide to do magic, then the perception advice is the best advice. But if you're kind of on the fence about being a magician, that's the best
if you're not absolutely obsessed and in love with this, you will be destroyed by this.
Yeah. So let's go into like why logistics is so hard to do. Like we don't have to go into all the personal details like between our lives.
I mean, just in general, they're just life circumstances that made this more difficult than it probably would for most people.
Right.
Just things going on in our personal lives that created a lot of obstacles that we had to overcome.
Like just to give like a short example, like how we're meeting right now in this apartment to be able to shoot this. This was not available to us the 9 months that we were working on the show. So part of the problem was we didn't even have a place to meet.
Yeah. We had no place to meet. For a while we were rehearsing in the library, but the problem with the library is we're on their schedule. We can only use it for so long. We can only use it for part of the day.
And other people want to use it.
Exactly. And eventually what happened is because when we first started this, we were unemployed, penniless. And then eventually we found jobs, and I wound up getting something that he did, but they were both night jobs, which made things really difficult.
Mm-hmm. And then it got even more difficult, and I partially blame Gary Vee for this. I just became addicted to like hustle and work. So I took on a job as a civil engineer for some county that I probably shouldn't mention. Which, that was a huge commitment. Yeah. Because it was like a 45-minute commute just to get to the job. I had to get up at 5 a.m. to go and be to work on time. And I wouldn't get out of that job until 4:30 if they weren't working overtime, to drive a half hour and be a manager at an electronics store until 10 or 10:30, have dinner real quick, and then we would meet at the church when we originally had that, and go there all the way till like 3 in the morning.
5 in the morning.
Sometimes, get like 2 hours of sleep if I was lucky, and then go and do it, and we repeated it.
Yeah.
And we were doing that for days, and it like pretty much made me go insane.
Yeah.
For a little while. Like I was talking gibberish. I kind of struggled to walk.
Yeah.
It definitely killed my charisma. Like I was like losing my perception.
Yeah.
It was bad just because of sleep and just like working so much.
I mean, had we done the show the original date that we planned, he probably would have fell over and died mid-performance. Yeah. It would have been so bad. And then just to conflate all of that, on top of him not being available,
except for like 11 to 5 in the morning.
And especially once we lost the church, I think you had quit those jobs, the electronics job by then.
Not. I quit that. So I was still working.
Okay.
I was still a manager at the electronics store.
But anyway, another huge difficulty, and this is going to be something you will face, is scheduling. Oh my gosh, scheduling is such a pain, especially when you don't have a place to meet. So, our 2 crew members...
That just sounds impossible, just from that sentence.
And this
alone.
is so horrible. So our 2 crew members were working at the pizza place. They work full-time, weekdays and weekends, mainly nights. Remember that. He was working at this engineering job, which was a typical 9 to 5.
Well, the engineering job was actually
okay, but
it was on a
first
410
first shift.
Yeah, it was on a 410 schedule.
And then I'm working a night job weekdays, so every single day in the week, we can't get everyone here. So when I'm free, he's at work, and when he and I had weekends off, but the other crew are working on weekends, so it became damn near impossible. Till finally, what we had to start doing is once we got back to the library and to rehearse in the library, we'd have to just do it early in the morning on Saturdays, which was terrible. Like, I have a special hatred for waking up early on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's evil. No one should have to wake up early on Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was part of the issues. And like, we never really had a full crew rehearsal where everyone was there at the same time.
The first time we did a full run through of the show was the actual show itself.
And even then, all of our crew members weren't there. Like, some people had some scheduling conflicts that they did not anticipate, and then some people that thought that they couldn't do the show came on. Like, it was crazy up to the moment we took the final bow.
Exactly.
Like, it was just this crazy emotional ride, and there was like, it was a huge investment too. It cost me over $3,000 to produce the show. $3,000 out of my own pocket. Like, no one funded this. It was me.
Even with me too.
He funded it.
I completely wiped out my bank account.
Yeah.
And after doing the show, with just driving to that other town to pick up cameras and training, buying marketing materials.
Do you want to say the time just in case any Michigan viewers were?
Yeah, Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids.
So basically,
WKTV.
If you are a creative in Grand Rapids, go to wktv.org and just check them out. Go visit them, get some training. The people there are just wonderful human beings. They love their craft and they love teaching it. And for completely free, as long as you take $15 classes, which $15 is
a steal.
Yeah, it's just a nice dinner, and you can have access to high-end equipment. Like, we were using these particular cameras, but they also have like cameras that they use to shoot Hollywood movies that you can check out for free.
So magicians from Michigan, even if you don't live in Grand Rapids, it's worth the trip out.
Absolutely. Even if you're living in Detroit or Chicago, go and get this opportunity. I mean, it sounds too good to be true. It's actually not.
So going back to just the obstacles with it, I invested like $3,000, and then part of the reason why rehearsals were so bad is I would get really, really upset whenever. Because, like, I'm just going to call it out. Electric Touch Plus was supposed to be a key ingredient of the show because the hook of our show, which you should have a hook, like that's another thing that we forgot to mention in the marketing, was we put a hook, which is what differentiates you from any other magic show, where you need a hook for pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Why should people pick you over something else? You need to have a hook. My hook was I could enchant people. I could give them magical powers if they come to your show. I could give you magical powers. Part of the whole thing of giving them power was going to be Electric Touch Plus, and Electric Touch Plus was a $320 plus investment because I had to modify my shoes. I had to pay $60 plus shipping to go and get it fixed, which even when it got fixed, it didn't work. No matter what I tried to do with Electric Touch Plus, I even had to like shave a small part of my leg in order to try and get it to work. It would not work for me. Electric Touch Plus has worked for me like a couple of years ago, but even when he sent me like a brand new unit, it still wouldn't work. I can't figure out why. And then now when I send him the stuff, he didn't send the DVD back, which is weird. But yeah, you know, I lost well over $320 on that. Quantum Space broke on me, which we fixed, but it's not usable in a close-up setting anymore because it broke. The Spider Pen Pro, like the little ceramic mold, like Spider Pen Pro is still usable, but that broke, and I had to buy replacement thread all the time.
And that's just one thing. As a filmmaker, outside looking in, is just I could never be a magician, especially a close-up magician with all these tiny little things that you guys have to buy, and they're expensive, they break easily, they get lost, and another problem is things going missing.
Yeah, it was just so much stuff that when you pay like $50 for something, and it's just like a card, and it breaks me on the inside because I see it as $50 being flushed down the toilet. So it really killed my mojo during rehearsals, where I went to rehearsals to fly and we could joke around, but the moment something broke, it snapped in my mind because I just $350 being flushed down the toilet. So yeah, that's a lesson I had to learn. So it was well over $3,000, but I mean there was some good stuff that happened too. We got a $850 prop for $300, which was kind of interesting. Which some people wouldn't even say it's worth $300. Like another problem with magic is things are overpriced.
Yes.
A lot of magic is overpriced. Where $850 for that.
There's something that could be easily DIY.
So, you know, a lot of it was when I was new to magic and I was still buying stuff. Just the investment did not pay off. And then a lot of stuff that I bought just for the show, like I didn't get to use it. We had to cut it just we were so constrained with time. I wanted to perform Vortex and have Vortex fly, and I finally got to fly around the body and catch it. It looked so good, but we couldn't even do it because we didn't have the setup time.
One thing that is important, it's a good idea to have someone who can be a producer, not you, because they can save you a lot of mental stress. But another thing that's important, when things break or you just find out you have too much stuff, you have to be able to kill your babies. This is one thing that every artist struggles with. You have this thing, like a gimmick or a section of the show that you invested so much money in, and you've put a lot of time and love and heart into it. But you need to be able to step away from it and really ask yourself, does this actually need to be in the show? And can I go on without it? So when an Electric Touch Plus broke, the first time it did it, we're like, show's over. Like, the hook's done. We can't do this anymore.
Granted, I was in a very bad mood.
Yeah, I mean, that was like our lowest point when that happened. And that was when he was working the 2 full-time jobs. And things were not going good. And I had, at that point, had already had enough. I just, like, when he said show's over, I was like, thank God, it's over with. I'm done with it. But
he wasn't like that. We were still very miserable. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen him that happy in a long time, and that was acting.
Yes.
The last 9 months, he has not been that cheery.
No, this has been a horrible experience. Especially, I don't like producing, so
yeah.
But you have to be able to kill your baby. So when Electric Touch Plus stopped working, we decided eventually, in hindsight, this was the better decision. Decided to keep going and not quit. And we just found something else. We had a beach ball, and just throw that, and you see you have the beach ball, and you have it, oh, now you're enchanted. Or you just snap on you, now you're enchanted.
E.T. it. It's supposed to be a spark, but it's cheesy, it's not as cool
as not nearly as cool as Electric Touch Plus, but here's the key thing. The audience didn't know that he was going to shock people. So there was nothing missing in their eyes. So, and when he's just snapping at them, the audience is just as enthralled. So they're entertained nevertheless. So if, like I said earlier, if you can accomplish the same goal with something else, then go for it. That's being able to adapt and get over yourself and react to the situation.
Yeah, exactly. There were several times where we wanted to give up. There were several times but I knew deep down this would either make me or break me. Like, I knew if I couldn't do this, my magic career would never go any further than where it was now. And I knew if I could do this, it would take us to another level to where we can start operating in bigger capacity and probably make money.
This stage show, for a video game analogy, this
was
the
like
boss level.
It was like a fork in the road.
Yeah.
Like, to put it in the best analogy that I can think of, it's a fork in the road. If we didn't do the stage show, my magic career would go one way and it would not get past busking. And even then, busking probably wouldn't bring it that much.
Yeah.
Or it would take it to where now I can start getting more high profile gigs. Not like high profile, but higher profile where I'm making way better money than I ever have.
And pretty much become the performer that you want.
Yeah, like, it's not sustainable to live on, but as a side gig, like, it's some nice money to put in. Which that's something to talk about a different day. But yeah, like, now AGA as a company, since we're going to start getting like higher paying gigs, like, now the company is more sustainable as a side gig, and now we can start like investing in better capital.
And I think even as an existential thing too.
Oh yes, yeah.
This would have haunted us for the rest of our lives had we given up. Like, it always would have been hanging over our heads and following us.
Yeah.
And I think we would always look back and say, well, what if we actually stuck with it? And now we don't have to ask that.
Right, and regret is the worst. I think like watching Gary Vee and Simon Sinek really helped push us to keep doing it. And plus just having you and I be accountable to each other.
Yeah.
Like, it would not have happened had it not been for you, and this show would not have happened if it had happened. Like, it was definitely a team effort. And then having our stage manager, Dan, like, he was critical. Having my brother, like, both of my brothers, like, one be another stagehand, another one be the technical guy for, like, the audio and the music and everything. It was a team. Especially for this caliber. Now, some of you that are going to be doing walk-around stuff, you're not going to need this. This is more for the stage performers here. It's a team sport. It's not a one-man show. And you really need to get over that. It could not be a one-man show. It is a full team effort. Everyone has an important role to play, and then.
And now what was great is, since we had already produced and taken a long before the show, we already had that sense that a film crew has. Like, it's interesting, since films are so collaborative, the people who are working there, like, you always form a special bond with people because it's so intensely hard work, but you're just loving it and just working together, and you know that everyone on set is critical. It's the exact same with the show. Even the person with the smallest role was critical for the show to happen. And you have to understand, even though you're the face of the show and the hot shot that's going to get all the praise, it's the people who are behind the scenes that are really going to get you there.
Yeah, that's why at the end I had like as much crew as I could take the full crew out. Yeah. So yeah, that's what did it. But just like you said, the whole existential thing. Like, had we not done this, it would have shown that we are like what everyone else had, just a couple of kids trying to do something cute.
It would show that this isn't a real company. This is just a cute thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
It would show that
we're frauds.
Yeah, it would show that we're schmucks, that we're not capable of doing something like this. Yeah. So what was it that kind of reignited you with the show?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. It was seeing David Blaine live. I went and saw him in Saginaw. I wanted to see him in Grand Rapids. Seeing David Blaine live, there was like two things. So David Blaine, number one, and then you and I went to Michigan Magic. I don't want to call anyone out, but we saw people that were hired performers mess up, and some hired performers that were like, like, why are you doing that to your audience? And kind of seeing like the level that we thought we could be at if we do this show, and seeing them mess up, like flash stuff, mess up tricks, and it was like an actual, like, we paid money to go and see that. Oh, we could be there. Like, why aren't we there? And granted, we don't want to get into it because we don't want to talk bad about anyone, But the show was originally slated for May 19th, and the venue dropped.
Yep.
So we don't want to go into all the drama about the venue dropping. You know, it's just kind of those things where it doesn't work out, and you just don't do business with those people anymore, and that's fine. You do business with the right people in the future. Lesson learned. Lesson. So in the end, it actually benefited us. You know, oddly enough, like I feel like that was supposed to happen. Like the show would not have been as good had it actually occurred on its actual date. So I'm kind of happy the venue dropped on us. And right after, the day after the show was supposed to go on, we went up to Grand Rapids and we went to Mission Magic Day and we saw that and I was like, oh wow, you know, we could do that. And then it was like June 15th or something like that. I went to go see David Blaine live, and it made me feel like how I felt back in 2014 when I first started Magic, and I was seeing like Houdini, and I was seeing Blaine. I was watching Houdini TV, the biopic on History Channel. It reminded me of watching the David Blaine specials on YouTube and rewatching like Darcy Oak. And it brought me back to like why I love Magic. Then I basically texted him like right after David Blaine show. I'm like, we need to do the show. Like, I don't give a crap anymore about if it doesn't go this way or that way. I just want to entertain people.
But I mean, his demeanor was completely different. Like,
it snapped me out of like the psychopathic like.
Because prior to that, he was unbearable to deal with. Like, I hated going to rehearsals. I hated all of that, just dealing with it. But after that, like he turned back into the person that I knew. Yeah, he was a lot happier, a lot more enthusiastic. Like, rehearsals still didn't always go great, but we were able to go through the adversity.
Yeah, like, so really, in a way, like, David Blaine in a very indirect way. It just, like, reignited, like, my passion for Magic, which kind of goes back to, like, what you said. If you don't have that, then you shouldn't do it because you're going to burn out. Like, we almost did. So, really, just seeing David Blaine live, seeing his live stage show, it completely changed me back into like who I needed to be. And then once I saw that, I was no longer afraid to like mess up. I was no longer afraid of the show not going to a T to how I wrote it. Like I was just, my main goal was to make people smile and have a good time.
And that's really the most important thing. The whole point of this show is to entertain people. That's why you are doing Magic. Yeah, if you can do that, you are a good magician. Even if you can't do the tricks right, even if you're constantly flashing or you can only afford sucky effects, if you can entertain people, you are a good magician. A bad magician is someone who doesn't entertain people, even if they have the best sleight of hand or can do the best misdirections ever.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like, prior to me, you know, before the venue got dropped, I was always saying, we need to make it an ROI. Yeah. It's like, I know we're not going to see the short-term ROI, but we're going to see the long-term ROI. Like, that's all we would say. ROI, which means return on investment, because I invested $3,000. The reason why I was doing this was to make back $3,000.
And that's a horrible reason to get into
it. It was, I mean, you still want to make that money back, but it's not why you should do something. And then seeing David Blaine, it changed the why of what. It changed my why, kind of referencing Simon Sinek there for a little bit. But it became now, I just want to entertain.
Yes.
And I feel like once I became that person again, that was just in Magic, just to entertain, it helped kind of make the show happen.
And that made just things, production of it so much better. It put me in a better mood. It put the crew in a better mood. People were more motivated to actually put this thing on.
Yeah.
And
we never said ROI.
Yes. Honestly, I hate that word now. Like the businessman in me is like still like,
yeah.
And my artist is like, F you.
Yeah. Like you should have a healthy mix of both. I feel like you don't want to lose money on that. Then
you don't want to lose money. Still be smart and try to make money, but you're probably
don't let it consume you.
Yeah, you're probably not going to get an ROI. Just remember that it's probably not going to pay off financially.
And once I accepted that, like, oh, I'm not going to make my $3,000 back, it felt like I was free.
Yeah.
And like the show was now this like flexible thing, and it was whatever we could work with at the time. And it actually ended up being a decent show, especially towards the end.
Yeah. And an important thing about ROI, an interesting thing happened. I first want to say that had you not had that realization where you realize it's not all about ROI, the show needs to be flexible, it would have bombed horribly. Because you would have been unhappy, everyone would have been unhappy, the audience will see that you're unhappy, so it'll make them unhappy.
It will ruin my perception.
Exactly. It would be a complete disaster. You'd probably quit magic afterwards and hate yourself forever. But what ended up happening, because we made that change, we're not going to worry about money or ROI for now on. We wound up making money off of it.
Yeah, so a little bit of a spoiler is it was a free show. We didn't charge admission. And we made more money at the show than we ever had. Like a single sitting. Like we've sold products at like a magic fair before. We've, like we've put Doubting Thomas out, No Pressure out, and all that stuff where we've actually brought money in. And I mean, over time, Doubting Thomas brought in quite a bit of money, and No Pressure brought in quite a bit of money. But in a single day, like this show brought in the most. It was like more, like I don't want to give away the exact amount, but it was like we weren't expecting anything. It was like a lot. Like we've looked at like the merchandise profits and the donations because people felt like donating, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, it's interesting because we did have a merch table where you could buy Doubting Thomas No Pressure, and also just another tip is if you can sell merchandise, because that's where you're going to get most of your money from shows. But we had this merchandise table. People were, and it was kind of an honor system. People were free to put in money and then take a DVD if they paid for it. And we went in and we looked and counted up the money, and we didn't sell a whole lot of DVDs, but we had a ton of money. And that just meant people were just giving us money simply because they believed in us. That tells me that the show really entertained them. They walked away feeling something.
Yeah, it told me that the message of my show, because there is like a consistent message that I try to keep throughout the show, it resonated.
And that showed me that the whole goal of the show was to entertain them. That money showed me we did that in flying colors. Like, it was a resounding success. Even
though the show wasn't perfect by any means, it was still successful in the fact that we got to our goal, which was to entertain. So just to kind of, like, recap what we talked about, like, we had our original venue drop on us. We weren't able to meet to rehearse, and scheduling conflicts, we never had a full crew team rehearsal. The show logistically should never happen. We didn't even have all the props that I wrote in originally. It was a $3,000 investment. It was supposed to be an hour show. It ended up being an hour and a half with all the cuts that we made. And it was a free show, and we actually ended up making money. Which, back when I was like crazy and saying there isn't going to be a short-term ROI, there was a little bit of a short-term ROI, and hopefully we'll still be seeing the long-term ROI. Yeah. Which we will, because even though we haven't put out the promo reel, I'm booked for a gig next Friday. So, there won't be a Friday night hangout next Friday because I'll be at a gig, which is a good thing for me. Probably, I might make it either a Saturday or I'll just do it the week after. So, I'll try to do another hangout. It just won't be next Friday just because I'll be at a magic gig because that's how well the show went. That someone that was at the show saw what we did and was like, I want to hire you for this thing that I'm planning. I'm like, all right, cool.
And just kind of a business tip is why it's really important to go out there, perform for live people, and to do shows is that's probably going to be how you get clients. You're not going to create your website, put it on there, and just have clients randomly find your website and decide to hire you. Not how it works. What happens is, you get your clients from these personal interactions. So going out on the streets and meeting people. This actually wound up getting me a video gig because we performed a street magic for one of the guys
It's in the Lip Smacker review.
Yeah.
If you were curious.
Yeah, one of those people wound up hiring me for a gig. And in these stage shows, we were doing this, and a person saw that, really liked the performance on the spot, asked them, hey, can you have this Halloween party? Can you go do this? Mm-hmm. Your clients are going to come from these things. So if he goes to this Halloween gig, and there could be another person say, hey, well, I have a birthday party coming up. Can you come do this? So it's very important to do your networking at these events when you have these laymen, because that's how you're going to find your business.
Yeah, I mean, promo reels are important too, especially
promo reel is what you show them after you have that conversation.
Yeah,
word of mouth is the most effective way in
networking in general. Well, the whole reason why you knew about WKTV was through networking.
Exactly.
That's a life tip. That's not just a magic tip or an entertainment company tip. Just network. Put yourself out there. Meet people. Get numbers. Get contacts. Network. Because if you want to be successful, you need to network.
Networking is everything. That's how you get where you are. That's the reason why David Blaine and Dave Copperfield are famous. It's not because they're good. It's not because they're charismatic. It's because they knew the right people. David Copperfield, somewhere along the line, met somebody who knew somebody that could get him a contact with somebody that helped him make his big break, and now he's a billionaire. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's not saying that they aren't good. They are definitely good, but the reason why they have it,
yeah,
like, it's more important to network. Like, if you're good but you're not networking, you probably won't be successful.
Talent only makes you keep the job.
Yeah. So you do need to be talented to keep it, but in order to get it, networking is crucial. So yeah, like it was just this disaster thing where we mentally broke down, went to the lowest steps, and then crawled our way back up to the top. It was kind of like an emotional journey. Like the best way to describe it is in The Dark Knight Rises, where Bruce Wayne, his back is broken, he's beaten down, then he's climbing out of the tunnel, and they're going dashy, as he's climbing out. Like that's what it felt like producing this show.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this is the hardest thing we've ever done. It broke us, but
it also made us.
Yes, we're so much stronger. Like I feel so much like
it was kind of like a phoenix. Like we died, then we were reborn into something stronger.
Yeah, I'm definitely not eager to do this again right away, but I feel
we need
like
a break.
Yeah, I feel like I'm so much more equipped, so that the next time we do this, I'll be so much more confident, and we'll still have nervous breakdowns. They won't be nearly as bad.
Yeah.
And we'll know how to navigate them and keep our heads above water and have an even better show than the first
time. Like, you have to think about it. Like, we didn't have like an opening act. This ended up being an hour and a half, 90 minutes. That's feature length.
Yeah.
We're like competing with a movie here that we just put on. Like, wrote, directed, produced, funded, acted in, all that stuff. I'm just one person. He's just one person. And then we had like 3 other people.
Yeah.
And turned into a 90-minute stage show.
Yeah.
Like, I still can't believe. And then we had a venue drop on us. We weren't able to actually meet to rehearse. And we never had a full cast and crew rehearsal.
Everything that could have possibly went wrong did go wrong. And then even more things on top of that went wrong.
Yeah, it was crazy. But we still made it, which is the most important thing. So that's kind of like the crazy story. And that's also why when I said that I got something greenlit for May 19th, the reason why I was kind of AWOL for a while was just because I dropped it, just going through that crisis.
Yeah.
Like that's why there haven't been a whole lot of YouTube reviews. That's why there haven't been a whole lot of magic performances on my YouTube channel. We've been so consumed by this that it took up everything. But now that we kind of got all the bad stuff, how did we book these venues? You can go with the church first and then the library.
So with the church first is, I'm curious as whether or not we would have actually got it had we not helped that friend with their Christmas play.
Probably not. I can answer that.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. So we went to this church, and acquaintance of ours was putting on a Christmas play that they do every year. So we wound up helping her. So we did that favor, and the play went great, and we did a good job. So everyone was just really in high spirits, and the pastor of the church was also just very happy with us because we went and did that. So while he was in a very good mood, we asked him, hey, can we do this play? And he was like, oh, yeah. And looking back, I don't think he really was thinking.
Yeah, I don't think he really knew what he signed up for. And then later on, like when he realized that, oh, our thing is going to happen, he took over like everything.
Yeah.
And then
it created a conflict, and
it was no longer our stage show.
It was no longer something that we could work on him with. We had to go our separate ways. So after that, we were kind of in a loop. We didn't really know what to go. The show was in limbo, and we were looking around for other churches that we could perform at. I was looking around. Fortunately, we still had the library, which had this great auditorium, which we had already been rehearsing in. So I wound up just contacting the library. Through the same method that I would use just to book the room to rehearse, I spoke to them, hey, this is what we want to do. How can we make this happen? They were eager to help us. And I was surprised, their youth services director wound up emailing me directly and saying, hey, we love this idea. We want to help you. What do you need from us? Mm-hmm. And they were extremely accommodating and super helpful. And we had some trouble getting dates and some communication issues, but overall,
which will happen.
Yeah, just prepare for that. Clients are very fickle and unpredictable.
But you need to be professional enough to handle that. And, a lot of why we got the library auditorium is we just handle ourselves professionally. One thing that he did that I really liked is at the end of the show, we had a card for that, what was it, youth services director? We got a card, we all signed it.
Do that for your client because they are bending over backwards to let you do this. Mm-hmm. Give them a thank you card. You owe them that at least.
And it looks so much more.
Yeah, and they're going to see that, and hopefully one day they're going to be deciding they want to throw on like a little fun family thing and they want an entertainer. And so that guy's going to be in his office and just glance over, see that card. Like, oh yeah, I remember that Tyler Scott guy. He was really fun and that show was really good. I'm going to give him a call.
Yeah, I think at the end, we did get to speak with him a little bit at the end. And he asked how it went. We're like, great, we filled the house. And everyone seemed like, he's like, yeah, I heard like a lot of great feedback about it.
Yeah, people were actually going up to the library staff and just telling them how much they enjoyed the show.
Yeah, so it's all about that professionalism in the perception. It's like, can we trust these two guys right here to deliver on what they're saying? And I don't want to like speak for the library, but if I had to take a guess, I would say,
I can probably bet that the library is pretty happy with us right now.
Right. Hopefully we can get like a video testimony. So, like that's another key thing you want is video testimonials, which because we advertised it as an hour, it went to an hour and a half. People were really hungry and wanted to go.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get as many video testimonials as we wanted. But I'm sure if we asked Calvin, was it? We might ask Calvin if, hey, could we just get a video testimonial?
Even if we can't get a video or written testimonial, just have him shoot me an email.
Yeah.
What he thought. Then it would still be good. That's something we can put on marketing material. Even with your website, once I get that online, that's something I can put on there that's validation from an actual, not really business, but the same kind of role that an event planner or a business owner would have. That's pretty crucial in a client deciding whether or not they want to hire you.
Yep. So, all right, I hope that kind of answers your question on like how did we even get the gig in the first place? So I kind of want to give you like a speed round of like questions because we're kind of like doing segments of topics. Now I just kind of want to give you like a little bit of speed round. So what is, knowing what you know now about the show, what do you wish you could have told you past?
I guess it's going to be even harder than you realize. And just persevere and remember why you're doing this. Always focus on why you're doing this. One exercise actually that he and I did this is also just good for life, is write a manifesto.
It'll help with your charisma. It really will.
Just write down, physically write down, don't just memorize it, physically write it down, and why you are doing this. What do you actually want in life? What do you want to obtain?
Mm-hmm.
What are you unhappy with right now? Why do you want it to change? Mm-hmm. And why do you want to do this show? What is it all for? Write it down, save it, so that when you have those bad days, pull it up and just look at that. Helped significantly.
Yeah, it'll give you like direction and focus.
Yeah.
And focus is a key word there too. Great answer there. Just to briefly just bounce off of that, I highly recommend it, even if you're not a magician. Make a manifesto.
Yeah.
What you want to do with life. It'll just change everything. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
What do you think? So now that you've actually put on your own show, that no one asked us to do, no one like gave us permission to do, we just went out and did it ourselves. What advice would you give people that are on Instagram, and YouTube, and that's all they do, but they want to start making money at this? What is like one piece of advice?
Go out and do it. No one's going to give you permission. You just have to go out. Just ask, like how we got the library. I just emailed them and asked, hey, can we do this? And then they said yes. Worst case scenario, they say no. If they say no, then you say thank you, and then
it's a numbers game.
Yep. Keep doing. We were lucky. We wound up having a good venue the second time around, and no one's going to give you permission. This isn't something, not just this show, but other projects have taught me that you can't sit around and wait for your boss or your teacher or someone you know to order you to go do this thing, or for some person, some talent agent to magically come around and see you on Instagram and decide they're going to make you famous. That's not how it works. You need to go out and actually do it yourself. Be the person that you want to be in the future right
now. What is one thing that you were happy about with the show? One thing that you were upset about with the show? One thing that surprised you?
One thing that I was happy about with the show was just how much we entertained the audience, just how enthralled they were. They seemed really into the story. They loved the performance, especially towards the end, especially once we did Houdini Chain Escape and the closer, which had a really deep message. We clearly made something that resonated with them. And as an artist, that's why we do this. And that just was so fulfilling to have that. What I dislike the most, I think, just talking the show itself, just not going into the producing of the show, which was everything I didn't like about that. But for the show,
you were good at it, though.
Show itself, the lack of preparation in general.
Which is actually the first part. Sorry to interrupt, but it was the first part of our manifesto.
Yeah,
solves that problem. Like so we kind of shared with each other our manifestos. In our very first bullet point, this is essentially the same exact thing, just rewritten maybe different ways, but it's the same crucial message. We won't get really what it is that it is, but it solves that problem.
Yeah, 60% of everything that was wrong with the show was due to one problem.
Yeah.
And
I mean, this right here, this apartment here, kind of solves that first bullet point. It's a temporary fix. It's not the fix that we want. But now that I kind of have my own apartment, theoretically.
In the future, we are going to make sure that that one problem is no longer going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So the next show that we do is going to be half as hard as this one.
Right.
Even if it's technically more difficult.
Yeah. Like, honestly, that bullet point.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the one thing that you were surprised about.
And surprise, I think, was making money off of our free show. And I guess that goes into the thing that I like the most about it.
The message resonated.
It resonated, and people donated to us because they believed in us. like that meant so much to me. Like not even from a business, I didn't care as a business standpoint. I stopped caring from a business standpoint a very long time ago. Just as an artist and even as a person, seeing all these strangers come here who didn't have to, and there were other things that they could have done. Like there was, I think It was out by then. They could have went and saw that, but instead they came in and actually giving us money that they probably worked their asses off to get just meant so much to me.
Yeah, that was great. Did you feel like a real company at that point?
Yeah.
How was it? Okay, so this is one of the things that we did. Like, the night of, we treated ourselves to watch it.
Yeah.
On the company dime. How did that feel?
Oh my god, it was so good. And also,
it didn't feel real.
Yeah.
Like it felt like we were kind of in like a dream.
Like when I was like, it's funny because he texted me because I had to go to work, and then eventually I got home from work, and he texted me, do you still want to go see it? And I was like, oh no, I don't really have any money. He's like, dude, we just made money off of the show.
Yeah, AGA is gonna cover. Like, we're gonna go see it at the company.
Like, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We actually can do this because I was penniless at the time. So
and technically, the company that you started paid for you to go see your show.
Yeah, my company. So AGA paid me for the show when the job I was working at couldn't pay me to do that.
Like it's this very confusing thing. That's kind of why it felt like a dream because we didn't even feel like the show was ever going to be done.
Yeah.
And then when it was done, it was just like, oh wow, we did it. And we expected. And then we got to like take the crew members out to lunch. We got to treat ourselves to it. It was a great movie, by the way. Watch it. Like I'm not even into horror. I hate horror movies because I think they're cliche and boring. But it was like I loved it. I didn't like it. I loved it. Yeah. So it was just like this crazy thing. Which brings me to like the next part is where do you see like Tyler Scott Illusionist, AGA Entertainment, AGA Media, but you know we won't split hairs on that. Where do you see yourself, AGA, and magic, and everything, and producing? Where do you see it going into?
I definitely because
what's your plan?
Yeah, because the show was a success, things are gonna. I'm more excited than ever about our future. I think,
like you don't have to give away like specifics, obvious.
I
like
think
company secrets and stuff.
Short term, we're probably going to be producing more content. We'll probably have a larger audience now because this, like I noticed on the AGA Facebook page, Facebook when you create a page, it'll usually notify you how it's doing, and like my notification is getting blown out. Having all these people just viewing the page and interacting with it.
Oh, okay. Sorry for interrupting. We've got a comment that the mic is kind of laggy. Yeah, sorry about that, Jalen. That's just internet connection and YouTube. We're using OBS Studio. Hopefully that doesn't affect the message, and hopefully you guys can still get something out of this.
We'll work on having more better produced stuff in the future. And I think now that show is complete, that future will come a lot sooner than we thought. You're already getting gigs. I would like to have your website live by Christmas. And
hopefully get some Christmas gigs. Like I'm getting Halloween gigs. I'd like to get some Christmas
just gigs. Increased branding. We have more films coming up along the way that I think now the crew is going to be more invigorated to shoot. We're going to have more legitimacy to put those things on. So I don't have a specific plan yet, and there's still a lot of details that I can't really give away right now.
Yeah, like we can't give away company secrets.
Well, all I can say that I'm very excited for what's going to come in the next few years, and all I can say is stay tuned.
Yeah, we're going to have a summit on New Year's, like a company summit, so everyone involved with AGA. We're pretty much going to announce our plans for 2018 to the team and get everyone on the same page. Right now, only he and I, since we're kind of like the heads of AGA, know about what those are, but they're pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And like there's going to be some cool magic stuff along with it too, but the film side will also take off a little bit. Like, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like basically to kind of go back to what he said was the YouTube channel will take off, and kind of to clear up something, when he says the following, he didn't just mean YouTube. Like, it's kind of hard to predict if YouTube will take off.
Yeah.
He means our actual like local following.
Yeah.
So you won't really see it on YouTube. You won't really see it on like Theory 11 or wherever you know me from. As far as the internet goes, like, he's talking about our actual like local branding, which is where most of the income comes from. So like that's where the revenue is coming.
And that could easily bleed into the online.
Yeah, like if we have like a really good shoot day and we're like, oh, maybe people would like to see this, we'll probably put it out as a live stream magic compilation. Yeah, so as far as you guys seeing the stage show, we still need to work out the specifics of that. You guys will get to see a promo reel for sure, and a lot of the footage that we got will probably come through reviews now. Like that, when I did that update of my channel, like way back in like December or January. So I'm working on a project that means that there will be more reviews now. I was referring to the stage show. I just didn't want to say it was the stage show yet because it wasn't 100% like official.
Yeah.
And the footage that we got, I would like to do review stuff. Like, there was a lot of stuff that had to get cut that I was hoping to do reviews of, but I'll just do it in some other capacity because I like going out and just busting and just
more chances.
Yeah, just getting that down more pat. Yeah, so I want to tell you like all these lofty, big, dreamy goals that we have for the future, but we have to keep it a little bit realistic. But for those of you that are subscribed, there will be reviews coming in the future.
And now that we have this out of the way, we can put more time and effort back into the YouTube channel.
Right.
I do want to have higher quality stuff. You might have seen some kind of newer formats and traditions we're playing with. I kind of want to start going in that direction. I want it. It's not the quality that I want it to be right now. My goal is to get at that level of quality that we ought to be at.
Yeah, definitely. So that's all we can really say for the future right now. Just stay tuned. Probably the main reason why you subscribe to my YouTube channel, it will be come back. The reviews will be back, and hopefully they'll be better than ever.
Yeah, because now we're gonna have a lot more. We'll have better footage of those effects,
and so it'll be stuff like Spider-Pen Pro. I also want to do a review of David Blaine's live stage show, which is long overdue. I want to do a review of that. I want to do a review of just like a few other things. I guess we pretty much, there aren't really a whole lot of questions coming in, just like the two. I think we pretty much covered as much as there is to cover about the stage show. Is there anything else that you want to talk about or add on? Just give them advice, because a lot of my audience has never produced anything before. Like, that's like a team effort for like magic. Like, a lot of them are just kind of maybe performing for like high school friends or whatever.
I think, and what's interesting is one thing that I really learned is how similar magic and film are to each other. And just what I can even tell you from film is that practice your craft, get out there, record yourself doing it, get seen, put out content, have a YouTube channel or put things on Facebook or Instagram so you have stuff that people can reference. Once you have enough good stuff, get a demo reel, put that all together. If you don't know a video guy, then just go on YouTube, research how to make good videos. There's plenty of content that will teach you how to do that for free. You don't need good gear to do that. Learn marketing and branding and business. Again, all stuff that you can look up online, and try to make friends with a graphic designer, video guy. But again, if you can't, lynda.com is not expensive. And there's YouTube. Just research on doing that.
Or a local library.
Yes, your local library. They're more than happy to help. And also get involved in your local community.
That's another big thing with how you're going to meet clients, find venues. If we were not in touch with our community, we would never have known about the library or really even the church. So,
or even WKTV.
Yeah, go out there, just even if it's not magic related, volunteer, join clubs and groups, and just do things, because that's how you're going to find opportunities to perform or even book gigs.
Or just even practice your craft. Like how I practiced the craft prior to this, besides street busking, was I would perform at this summer camp for physically disabled children, and I would do like a half hour to 45-minute parlor-esque show for them. But he kind of gave you guys a step-by-step plan for how you guys can get to what we did. I'd like to just bounce off that a little bit and kind of like Gary Vaynerchuk. He has like both channels. Like one channel's Gary V, one's Gary Vaynerchuk.
And it's Gary V.
Yeah. We followed him a lot. And we followed Simon Sinek. I have 2 of his books.
Spell Sinek.
Right, yep. They really helped us. We just watched like Charisma on Command and all these. We actually got like a lot of free advice from those guys, but you know, there really isn't an excuse for you not to be performing and recording it. Yeah. Now we're gonna kind of sound like Gary Vee. Now that we've done it, you don't have excuses. We can do it, you can do it. That is a very, like, if there's one thing that you take away from this Friday night hangout, is if we can do it, you should be able to do it.
I mean,
especially with all the stuff that we had to deal with. So go out, perform, get a friend. If you don't have a friend, network and make a friend.
Yeah.
Like, no excuse. Have that friend, get their cell phone out, film you, you know, shoot good performances. And if you're not good, just practice and get better at it. But, you know, Gary Vee would not have sympathy for you if you're making excuses. Because, you know, excuses are just limits to yourself that you made. So if you quit making excuses, then what are your limits? Right?
Exactly.
So
and it's also remember, it's okay to fail.
Mm-hmm.
And it's better to fail than to wonder what would have happened if you tried.
Regrets are the worst. And plus, if you fail, that doesn't mean you have to give up. It just means that it didn't work out at that specific time. You might be able to come back to it later and do a better job.
You're not getting graded on this. You're not going to get an F if you fail in magic.
Yeah.
There's no higher power that's going to prevent you from keep doing this if you screw up. Right. So you have the ability to keep doing this. You just have to go out and do the thing.
Yeah, and like he's saying, like staying on top of the social media networks. Now that doesn't mean like performing magic tricks to a camera, because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about actually filming for live people, getting their permission to put them, like that's another thing that we have to do a lot. We're like, hey, we're going to put this on YouTube or Instagram. Are you cool with that? And you know, we save all their verbal consent. Yes, like we have all that saved just for legal reasons.
You know what? I think it would be a good idea for us at some point to just create, or specifically on like the media side of things, filming magic. And doing that. If that's something you guys are interested in, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Like he has full access to this YouTube account, so if you leave a comment or whatever, he'll be able to see it. But another thing that I like to do is, I got this from Gary Vee. Is I'll go onto the Play Store because I use Android. He uses Apple
because I'm better.
Because he sucks. And I try to research, like if you're using Google Play, like there's going to be latency. I like to go to the top charts, and I see what the top apps are. So the top apps right now, number one, Facebook Messenger. So I like how when I showed it to the thing, there was like an advertisement for Tinder. Tinder probably not the best platform for selling your magic, but hey, if you can do it, go for it. But Facebook Messenger is the number one app right now. So Facebook is probably the best platform to share your magic, honestly. Now, this isn't going to have stuff like Twitter or Instagram, but those are also good platforms. But if you're going for the family demographic, Facebook is probably the best. Upload your content onto there. Get pictures, get headshots, get footage of you entertaining people, and put it on Facebook.
And learn how to do social media communication and marketing. Again, take online courses or just even find tutorials and advice on YouTube.
Yeah, and then an app I discovered last night is Top Buzz. I didn't know what Top Buzz was, but it's viral videos, trending videos. You can get on Top Buzz. That will really launch yourself. There's also apps like if you want to sell yourself on Craigslist, you can. There's different places where you can sell your magic services. Another thing that you're going to want, especially if you're busking and you want to take tips, a lot of people don't carry cash anymore. I don't carry cash. You might carry a couple bucks, if any. We all do it digitally. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to get like Venmo or a Cash App or some way where people can make donations from their phone because it's more convenient because people don't really like to carry cash anymore. At least where we're at. Like we're kind of in a city right now, and people in the city just everything it's got to be really quick and really fast, mainly done on your phone on one device. So definitely keep current on that. That's something I learned from Gary. Maybe just every night, just go to your Google Play App Store, whatever platform you use, just look at the top charts and see if there's a new social media platform that's out, and then jump on top of that, and then start marketing yourself on that. So that's just some advice that I have.
It's all completely free.
Yep, all completely free. So we're getting pretty close to 2 hours, and I said it would be about a 2-hour chat, so we're probably going to wrap up. I don't see any new questions coming in. So closing thoughts.
You can do it. It doesn't seem like you can, and we didn't think we could for a while, but you can do it.
Yeah, and he's almost saying that to his past.
I am saying that to my past. I'm saying, you rosy-cheeked asshole, you can do
it. Yeah. Also, for those that attended tonight, I want to thank you for coming in, sending in questions, and if you're watching it past when this was aired live, thank you for checking this out. And if you could leave some feedback, if you found any advice that you really liked, really thought was helpful, just let us know in the comments, and let us know your thoughts, like what you want to see from this channel, what you want us to do in the future. And just thank you guys so much just for joining us on this journey. Speaking for Josh and myself both, I think we both can agree on this. We want the best for you. We want you to start making money with magic. We want you to have a successful magic career if that is something that you wish to do. From the bottom of our hearts, we wish that for you guys. You're all awesome. So that being said, I hope you all have a good night, and thanks for tuning in.